Hi everyone. So a learning experience I did for Anna, which is my focus child for our CLRPP, was I created an activity revolving off of the theme of transportation. We've been kind of discussing different forms of transportation in the classroom. So for this learning experience, we used a cardboard piece and we turned it into a parking lot. So we drew a parking lot on it, and above each parking space was a letter to the child's name. And then I supplied cars, and on top of the cars were letters. That way they could match their letters to the name, and they'd be spelling out their names as they're kind of driving their car into the parking lot as well. So that was the learning experience that I did for Anna. And in this, I chose that activity because it would kind of focus in on letter recognition, the phonological awareness, where she can pronounce the sounds and the syllables to her name, as well as the other children. But overall, I felt like this learning experience went really well. Something that went really well in the activity was she was able to match all the letters to her name. I used the strategy of raise expectations to kind of prompt her to respond verbally, as she has a low language and she is a dual language learner, so that language barrier, I kind of set that strategy in that way she can kind of break through and start vocalizing on her own. She did more so matching the letters on her own, but then I would ask her what letter it was. As I was pointing, I would ask her, what letter is this? Or let's go over the letters of your name. And she was able to say four letters of her name and was able to match them all. And something that didn't go as planned in this activity was clapping the syllables. I was planning to have all the children clap the syllables to their name as well. I'll use her name that I'm using for the study as Anna. So it was Anna, being able to clap the syllables to her name. In the activity, I was using her real name. That way she would learn the syllables and sounds to her real name. And it took a bit of a practice, but she did eventually get it, and she was vocalizing the sounds and the letters to her name. So it was pretty good, but it was, I think I was just thinking it would be smoothly, that she would catch on quickly, but it took a little practice, but she got it afterwards. And I was a little worried as I had all the cards laid out with the different letters. There were a lot of letters that we were needing to spell out the kids' names, as some names have multiple E's, multiple A's, so I had to make sure I had enough letters for all of the kids' names. So laid out on the table, there were a lot of letters. I was kind of worried that it would be overwhelming or overstimulating for some of the children, where they wouldn't be able to look through and find the letters. But they were able to, and they actually found a lot of pleasure, and they actually enjoyed looking through the cars and finding the letters and matching it to their to the correct parking space. So I thought that that was pretty well. And something I might do differently in the future is to find a way to extend the activity. It was fun. The children liked it. They liked pretending to drive their cars into the parking lot. But a way I feel I could extend it is kind of use simple words to have a parking lot like of a vet and having a dog, cat, where those words are being spelled out, that they can, with the cars, match the letters and spell more complex words outside of their name. But for right now, their learning development, I felt them being able to recognize letters to their name was appropriate. So that's why I chose that route. And yeah, overall, I felt the learning experience went well using the dual language learners strategies of raising expectations and partnering them with the English speaking peer. I felt really worked for my focus child. When we were clapping the syllables to our names, she was a little shy, and as I said, it took a little practice, but I then partnered her up with one of her peers who does speak English and kind of used her as a model and me and her kind of practiced it a few times, and after a few times of practicing with her peer, then Anna, then she felt more comfortable, or with her peer, started engaging in and participating in that as well. So yeah, overall I felt it was a really good learning experience, and I hope you guys all had a good experience.